Hi, Patrick here from patrick.life. And one of the things that I've learned from Tony Robbins is that to achieve success, one of the strategy is to ask powerful questions. Because the fact is that if you are able to ask empowering questions, you may get the answer. And that answer will solve whatever problems that you have. And I truly believe in that. Now, when we are, say, faced with adversity, problems, challenges, and so on, what we should be doing is that instead of thinking of a solution or the answer, we should be asking the questions on how to get the answer. Now, I know it sounds kind of confusing. What do I mean by that? And another teaching by Robert Kiyosaki, the famous author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, says this, how can I afford it? Now, this is a very classic thing that we have learned. And I'm just saying what I've learned from Robert Kiyosaki in a sense. Like when we see something that we want to, say, purchase or acquire, we see the price tag is way too high for us, and what we do, we'll say that, we can't afford it. But in Kiyosaki's teaching is that we ask the question, how can we afford it? And when we start asking that kind of questions, our brain starts working, thinking of the answer, how we can afford it in that sense, right? Now, that's just an example of me trying to explain how asking the right questions will actually gives us the solution or the answer that we want. And at the same time that I feel that many people sometimes do not ask the right questions to get what they want, right? For instance, I was watching a video of Jack Ma giving speech, right? And one of the person who was attending the conference was asking the question, was asking this question, right? And he was asking Jack Ma. The question is that this was the question: may I know, do you still keep in touch with your 18 founders of Alibaba.com? Now, I was thinking that why are you asking the question? Now, he may have a reason. Maybe he has his own startup, and maybe he has many founders in the past, and he wants to know whether he should keep in touch with the founders or not, right? That could be his reasoning. But then again, right, what does that really helps, right? And more importantly, again, just my assumption, I wouldn't know who he is, that maybe he doesn't even have an Alibaba and 18 founders and so on. So my point is this, is that question really useful, or it is asking for the sake of asking something to Jack Ma? If you have a chance to ask a question to Jack Ma, right, that is a golden opportunity. Wouldn't you want to think of a question that can be life transforming, or something that can help your business to go to the next level, right? So you have that one chance to ask a question to Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, and you ask a question that may not be useful to your current situation or your business. Now, I could be totally wrong. Maybe he really needs to know that because that can transform his business. I wouldn't know, right? But from a general standpoint, I don't see how that is going to help that much, right? And sometimes there's another situation where people ask questions just to brag about themselves. It's awkward. Like I see another YouTube videos where Gary Vaynerchuk was doing a speech in a conference, right? And he opens up the opportunity for the audience to ask questions. And one guy comes up and take out the mic and say he has a question. But he started off by saying like how awesome he is. I think he said like he is a CEO of Fortune 500 company or something like that, like a big time entrepreneur, all that kind of stuff, right? Like he's like a startup. I can't remember exactly what he bragged about because I wasn't paying attention. But all I know, he was like bragging for the first few minutes. Then he get into the question, right? But I was thinking, right, if you really need to ask a question, why would you need to tell everybody in the room, in the conference, like how awesome, how kick-ass you are and so on? Just go ahead and ask your question, right? So that's the whole thing with how people are asking questions. Some of them are not asking for the sake of getting the answer, but it's just asking because they feel like, I just feel like I want to ask something. And I think that if they were to to so-called plan it out, or maybe know how to ask the right questions, well, that could unlock so many opportunity. I remember during my days where I attend seminars, events, and if I got a chance to ask questions, to me, wow, that is like a golden opportunity. I mean, if I can ask someone a question who I admire, who I idolize, and so forth, and hear from his perspective or her perspective, wow, I mean, that's going to be so impactful in my life and in my business, right? So how do you actually ask a question in that sense? Now, very simple, right? I'm just going to give you a very simple formula, right? You ask the question to the right person who can help you of what is currently happening in your life right now. For instance, what is the adversity that you have right now? What is the thing, what is the knowledge that you need to have breakthrough in your life? That's it. Ask a question where you can take action based on that answer, based on that knowledge. I just want you to focus on that. Only ask question that is immediate, that you can take action upon it. And if you start doing that, and if you start asking the right question to the right person, that is probably the ultimate shortcut for you to achieve success, whether in business or just achieving your goals. Right, with that said, this is Patrick here. Feel free to leave a comment or share this video if you feel anyone could benefit from this. And check out patrick.life. That would be my webpage if there's anything that you want to learn more. Other than that, I will see you in the future. Take care.